Woo, woo, woo! Here we are, Cyndilu from the beBOLDyou podcast, vodcast, broadcast, whatever we're calling it this week. I'm here live to record a audio, but we're going to do it live on video because I live my life out loud and I love to help people be bold.
I love that.
Here we go. My guest today, y'all, is Angelique, the founder of Hei Butterfly, the initiative, and I cannot wait to hear more about it. I've heard just little snippets. I think we met on Clubhouse. Is that correct?
We did.
met on
We sure did. Yes, we did.
And she has already added value, y'all. If you're a Clubhouser, you know exactly what that means.
You know exactly what we're talking about.
So we are live on beBOLDyou page and YouTube channel and
the Hei Butterfly Facebook page. That's right. We are live.
So excited to have you all here with us live.
Same. I'm so honored that you asked me to join. And you're in New Zealand, which is on my bucket list of places to go. It's been on my heart for the absolute longest. And so to be talking to you live in New Zealand and myself live in Champagne, I think it's a sign. It is a sign.
It's a sign. It's a sign that you're going to get to go. You're going to get to go.
I'm ready. Look, when the world opens up again, New Zealand is on my list. New Zealand is there. I cannot wait.
I see she's got her Hei Butterfly on there, so I just added my beBOLDyou. If you take off the founder we're just doing a little cleanup here. If you take off the founder piece of that, then they'll see the whole Hei Butterfly, which I think
yeah. Let me do that.
Edit your name. And then when you're done editing your name, you can introduce yourself. But I will introduce myself first. I am Cyndilu. I am the founder and creator of the beBOLDyou personality expression system, which helps you to figure out who in the world you are, helps you to see who you want to become, and then gives you tools to look at assessing where you're at, where you want to go, and learning different personality aspects, as well as cognitive, which is instinctually how you move. And we also look at everything. We look at our education, our experiences. We look at how we communicate. We look at how we think, how we process, how we make decisions. We look at all of that and help you to shift into something that is living your life out loud and being bold you. And bold you could be a very quiet person. Okay. So that still can be boldly you. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, Angelique, tell them a little more about you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, gentle folks. Thanks for spending your Sunday with us. It's very much appreciated. My name is Angelique Evans, and I am the founder of Hei Butterfly, the initiative. The organization came about through my research here at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, where I am currently pursuing my doctorate degree. Cannot believe it's been 3 years already, but I am in year 3. And so this organization came about through my research, and momentarily I will be sharing more about that with Cyndilu. Cindy, I don't know where you went. I have lost you.
I know you don't know where I went.
I was like, Cindy, where'd you go?
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later what happened right there. It was one of those moments where I went, ooh, I didn't do that. I need to do that. So I did that. Okay. So the first thing that I do is I want to get to know you a little bit better, and I want to help the listeners to get to know you a little bit better. So we're going to answer 10 questions. Super simple beBOLDyou questions.
Okay.
Number 1, what is your favorite color?
Ooh, my favorite color. That's a hard one. I would say it would be a tie between a nice orange, or when the sun is setting, rising, and purple. Actually, I really like purple. And it just so happens I have these colors on today. So
purple's a good color.
I agree.
And do you consider yourself more of an introvert or an extrovert?
I am a introverted extrovert. I'm very much an introvert. But once I feel comfortable around people, or my soul gives me like the permission, like, yeah, these are good people, it's a safe space, I can be a bit of an extrovert. So when you first meet me, I'm pretty shy, but I think being now the founder of my own organization, I'm learning to come out of that shell or work around it, and find ways that allow me to still be genuinely, authentically, and boldly myself within that introvertedness. Um, but still get, the job done and be able to talk to people. So it's actually been a great year of growth. We're only in March, but it's been a great year of growth for me, to do and experience all those aspects of myself.
Cool. And what phrase or quote encourages you the most?
To be very honest, it's when my friends send me a yes or a hey. It's like I just know that I made it. I know that I'm supported. And just having my tribe and my sister and brother scholars, the row, support me, and them just saying like, "Hey, we're here." Um, it means the world. So I think those are the things that really inspire me the most.
Cool. We have some funky little feedback happening. I'm not sure if you can turn the return
So
on.
there's a train going by outside my window, and I'm pretty sure that's what you're hearing.
Oh, it's actually when you talk. It's like
Oh, it's when
echo
I
back.
talk?
Yeah, it's like an echo back. So I'm not sure. Turn down the volume maybe on your speaker.
Um, let's go. Can you hear me now? Is that better or worse?
It's about the same. So you
The
may not have any.
same.
You may not
I'm
have
not
any.
sure why, because I have on headphones. Let's see. Is this better? Worse? About the same?
Yeah, it's about the same. So it may be that we're not going to get any difference. Okay. So
And now? Same? Better? Worse?
that's a little bit better.
Okay, cool.
We'll
I made
go
a
with
slight
that.
adjustment. Okay,
We'll
thank you.
go with that.
All right.
All right. So let's see. We've done what's your favorite color? Orange and purple. We have done. So the phrase or quote that encouraged you the most again was the hey or
The hey, or when my friends shout hey when I'm doing something. It's
or
just,
like yeah, yes, right?
yeah,
Or maybe it's
yeah,
like that kind of
yes. Him with the
yes.
yes. I know.
Yeah.
I feel so supported. Because you can always catch, it's such a different phrase than people saying congratulations or something like that. But when you hear certain words and you recognize that voice, it's just like, okay, my tribe is here, my family is here. This is what I need. Um,
Yes.
and I try to do my best to, shout out and make sure my tribe understands that I see you, I appreciate you, I love you, thank you so much. So, yeah.
Neat. What energizes you?
The sun. I know that sounds weird, but I noticed, probably for the first time in my life, the way that I react a bit differently when the sun is out. I've always known I'm a sun, that the sun makes me happy and it makes my heart happy. But experiencing winter for the first time in a decade really, really cemented the fact that sunlight energizes me and makes me happy. When it comes to like my work and my cause, um, striving to make a difference, right? And seeing just the encouragement that others seem to get just from me saying, this is what I want to do. And me acknowledging that there wasn't a seat at any table in particular, so I made a table. And my goal is to be collaborative. My goal is to bring people in. And being able to be unapologetically myself as a scholar and as an entrepreneur, and more. So uh, I guess maybe finding my voice really motivates and energizes me in the sun.
The sun.
Gotta be, yeah, the sun makes everything better.
I totally agree. I moved from Vermont to Arizona because why? Because there was sunshine on the map. I was like,
Look, I
I'm
understand
so
completely.
over snow. It's like, I'm done with it. So, yeah.
I understand.
What has been your favorite age?
Wow, my favorite age. I'm gonna give y'all 2 for 1. When I turned 21, It was actually my first time in Beijing. And so I turned 21 in this foreign country with all of like the Western expectations of when you turn 21, all the cool things you can do. And being in a country that was like, we can already do those things. It was kind of like, oh, but at the same time, bringing in a new age with new friends and family was great. And I think now, I know 2020 was a hell of a year, excuse my English, for everybody. But within that year, I think we all had a lot of opportunity and time to grow in ways that we never anticipated we would be able to grow, right? And achieve things that, for at least for me personally, I never in a billion years thought I would achieve or do. Um, and a lot of it revolved around I didn't want to come back to the States. I didn't want to be back. But then having to come back and not having a choice and really having to work through a lot of things not happening on my clock or on my timeline. I've learned patience with myself. I've learned to extend grace to myself. I think I do well extending it to others. And I'm always telling people, give the grace to others that you would also give to your best friend or to yourself. And I realize I'm not so graceful with myself sometimes. And so I think this past year has taught me a lot and things that I didn't want to learn because I can be stubborn at times. And I think, just coming out of my shell, and learning to speak about the things that matter to me in my research and my work and my future endeavors and goals, right? And not just keeping them to myself or maybe, within a small bubble of 2 or 3 people, but still not sharing it too broadly. Yeah, so I think 21 was a great age in 2020, 21. These years, right? We're still we just started 2021, but I think it's going to be a great year and adventure, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you a book reader?
Yes, but I think I need to preface it by saying, do I love to read? Yes. Can I read? Also, yes. Do I read for pleasure? Not since I've entered my PhD program. Everything I read now is school and academic and field related. I would love to sit down with a good book and just enjoy the book for what it is. But right now, the only books that I can make space for are the books on the syllabi.
Well,
Unfortunately.
I may have to send you the book that is sponsoring today's episode, which is Becoming BOLDYou.
Yes.
So I may just get your address after this and send you this book so you can sit down and read it. Of course, it may end up, crossing over to research, but don't tell anybody.
I won't tell anybody. But I definitely like that idea. I'm excited.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to get this, they just go to cyndilu.com/BBY book, and I'll put that in the comments. So anyway,
please check out her book.
It's on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Amazon, come through.
Amazon, come on. Alrighty. So I won't ask you what book you're reading now because we don't want your reading list.
I do not. I mean, I will say there's been some really great books and articles and journals. But again, it's in my nerd space, so it might not appeal to everybody. Right now I'm focusing on virtual learning in terms of like study in virtual exchanges. So that's what I'm nerding out on more recently.
Awesome. We need to talk a little more after.
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's
I'm always open.
Let's collaborate.
Name of the game.
Yeah. What's your most exotic place that you've ever visited?
Oh, come on, Cyndilu.
Come on. I know. I say they're easy questions, and then people are like, oh, these are not easy.
Okay, so I have a follow-up question. Exotic in what way? Do you mean like location or do you mean food?
Whatever way you would describe it. It could be your bathroom. Let's hope our bathrooms aren't that exotic. But
first of all, I would like to comment and say the hotels in America and the bathrooms and bathtubs that they give us are despicable. Okay, -1. There was one recent stay. I won't mention the hotel. It definitely had a nice bathroom. I travel for a nice bath. Baths make me happy. So I love, and in China, you don't always have a bathtub in your house. You always have a shower, but you don't always have a bathtub. And so for me, a big part of my travel was make sure I have a tub in my room. And even now, I'm like, does the room have a tub?
Does it have a
Does,
tub?
does it have a tub? So let's see, the most exotic
Does it have a
place.
clean tub?
Oh, keyword clean, yes. But
Yeah.
actually, in these Corona times, I travel with a small bottle of Lysol and other things, so I can kind of do a safety once over. Yeah. Let me think. The most exotic place I've been to.
Because you've been
It's
all
really
over.
hard. I have. That's so hard. I don't.
Which country would you like to go back to? Let's do it that way.
Oh man, do I want to go back to?
Yeah.
I want to go back to the continent of Africa in general. There's so many other countries within that I haven't been to. I had the most amazing time in Morocco. Morocco has my heart. If anybody is listening and you're in Morocco and you would like to collaborate, you would like a language partner, I'm currently learning French for a fellowship I hope to get that will lead me to Morocco. So if anybody wants to practice, hi, my name's Angelique. I need help. um,
I'm looking for Moroccan.
I'm looking for a French speaker right now. You could be from anywhere, but if you could help me improve my French, that's what I need for this application. I have to write it in French.
Ooh.
I'm nervous. I'm
Wow.
nervous about that, but we're gonna do it multiple times if need be until we're successful.
Yeah, there you go.
Morocco was amazing. I love the feel of the country. I love the colors. I'm really in the colors. The people were very nice and kind.
Did they have bathtubs?
Yes, the places that I stayed did have a bathtub. The only place I stayed that did not have a bathtub, but I want to do it again. We went glamping in the Sahara Desert, and we had like you could have like a double bed, so you and a friend could stay in the room, and I loved it. It was cold. It was cold, but it was an amazing, and rode a camel and all these really cool things. Amazing adventure.
It was cold
Special
at
shout out
night.
to the College of Education at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. You guys put together an amazing trip. It was a good time. So yeah, I think Morocco for sure. Um, Thailand will always be a place that I want to return. They have the absolute best street food in the world, hands down. You can try to convince me otherwise with snacks, but I'm not sure that I will give that one up. I think Thailand has the most amazing food. Um, and Australia, I like the Sydney Harbor, the seafood market, minus the seagulls, but I like the food that I can get at Sydney Harbor,
Minus the seagulls. I love it.
minus the seagulls because
There's a lot of them.
they are, and they're always hungry. I'm like, you guys live out here. I know you know there's a place to go get snacks, and it's not my plate. Please go find where the snacks are.
Do you create to live or live to create?
Both.
All right.
I would say both. I think I live to create because it's the way my mind works. And sometimes the things that I create, I know for a fact that I can't do all parts. So I reach out and I get help. And I'm very appreciative to those who lend their time, effort, and energy to the visions I have in my head to bring them to life. But I would also say I create to live because, for example, Hey Butterfly, right? I created it out of a passion, right? It's something that came to me and I said, there's a problem. I think somebody should fix it. Somehow it ended up being me. And and it keeps me
Usually,
going.
if we see it, it's ours to do, or
Yeah.
ours to at least coordinate, even if we don't do it.
Right. Okay. Well, so far so good.
So name the person that's had the most influence on your life, and they can be dead or alive. I know that is a hard question. I'm sorry.
I just want to tell you, the dramatic inhale I took that I hope the mic did not catch. Oh man. Oh, that's really hard. That's really hard. I'm gonna find a way around the rules, and I'm gonna say my immediate family, in terms of my parents, my little brother, and my grandmother, have influenced me the most in different ways, because they have different strengths in different places. And I think my little brother, who's definitely my best friend, he's my A1 day one. He's just encouraging, right? And he just has the sweetest heart. And good day, bad day, in between, I can come to him and I know we're gonna have a good time, right? So I think he's definitely influenced me to just sometimes find some chill. I'm really good to tell other people, like, hey, relax, find some chill. But I think my brother really balances me well in those moments.
How many
Um,
years between you?
5.
Okay.
5. He's my little brother, but he's definitely,
Taller,
he's an
probably.
adult. Oh, please, yes. People always think, oh, is this your little sister? He's at least a foot plus taller than me, and he's like, oh, you're not, but we go like sometimes. So yeah, I think my family, um, like I said, my parents, my grandmother, I think they definitely influenced me. And I would also say my sister's scholar tribe, that are further along in their program than I am. I
Okay.
have learned so much from Dr. Perkins Williams, Dr. O, uh, Dr. Barnes. I mean, they just hold so much knowledge in space, that when you need advice, they can give it, right? And it can be constructive criticism, or it could just be like, no, not today. So I, yeah, I think because of the space that I'm in right now, I would definitely say that I'm influenced and helped and inspired and motivated by the people that I see and work with. And right now it's my scholar tribe. So
Awesome. So, last question. What one word describes you best? No cheating on this one. One word.
You're right. Uh, Sojourner.
Oh, I love that. That is an amazing word. Girl.
That took a lot. I was like,
Sojourner.
man, where do I go?
That is such a good word. And it's so you.
I was like, what's something that kind of embodies and empowers the things that you want to do, but also like that person in and of herself, right? Small in
Yeah.
stature, but mighty in power and movement and determined, movement, travel. So yeah, I think that I'm gonna stick with that one.
Awesome.
What's your one word? I'm curious.
My one word that describes me. Well, bold is
You
what
can't say bold.
that's what everybody else says, right? But it's not bold.
Okay.
It is, what one word describes me best? Embracing.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
I embrace life. I embrace people. I embrace relationships.
I like that. Okay, come on, Cindy. I like it.
Yeah. Come on.
Come on. And I love your come on. I just know it's so natural. And I said, I have good friends who sometimes that's their word. And so when you hit the come on a couple times, I said, okay,
Yeah. I'm a come
all right.
oner, and I'm a white hanky woman.
White hanky woman. What exactly does that mean? Because I've heard it in terms of like diplomacy and conflict, like you're waving your white flag to say, hey, I'll bow out of this. But
Oh no, I'm talking church.
oh.
When the preaching starts, girl, the hanky goes.
Come on, Cyndilu. I cannot wait to make my way to New Zealand and hang out. I know we're going to have a good time.
We ain't gonna find no churches that are gonna be like that, though. We're gonna have to be it, because yeah,
That's
they're
okay. Look,
a little subdued here.
sometimes that's whatever floats your boat and makes your heart happy. That's something I say all the time.
Yeah,
Look, it's not my business. If it makes you happy, I support it. As long as you're, taking care of yourself and not harming you or others, and again, giving yourself space and time. I think those things matter so much, especially in this current context, right? So
yeah, absolutely. So you said something, and I wanted to come back around to it, and I don't remember what it was, but it had to do with, what was it? The people. Oh, you were talking about those doctorate. So what made you? This is just an extra bonus, get to know you question. What
not a
made you
problem.
want to do a doctorate? Like, how did that piece of your
Oh goodness.
current
All right.
status come around?
Sorry, not sorry for my facial expressions. I am a very expressive person.
I love it.
So how did it
I do sorry, not sorry for interrupting people, because I like totally just interrupt people all the time. I'm like, sorry. I'm like, no, not sorry.
not really. I have a
Totally
point. I have a
interrupting.
point. Okay, let me think.
So why are you doing your doctorate? Tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
Now
Yeah.
is to shake shit up and change the system.
Come on, girl.
That's why I'm here. The system needs to see change. And for so long, I think, and I know, and we've all seen lip service being given to the idea of change, especially in terms of others, right? So that could be women, right? Because for a time, education was for well-to-do, wealthy white men. So the others were at the time women. Then it became minorities. Then it became various fields. What do you take serious? What is a joke? And finger painting, things like that. And so now it's to the point that the world keeps telling you if you want to do well, you want to be well, you want to be successful, you want to have the traditional quote unquote American dream, you have to go to college. Could be arguable, right? But more importantly, uh, if that is the route that you're going to take, and it's going to lead you down whatever path you're going to go on, a bachelor's could work, but that means you're going to need a master's, right? And then, well, if you want to do certain things, you need certain letters after your name to just possibly get your foot in some doors. Not necessarily meaning you're going to be taken seriously, but you need to get your foot in these doors. And so when you look at education as a structure, okay, the ivory tower that it is, the admission price is not the same for everyone. Okay. So when you look at loans and the way that education is financed, people of color are taking out more loans because they're trying to reach this American dream. Okay, cool. You take out the loans, but then you got to pay back the interest. They tell you that your bachelor is great, but it's just not enough. And then you get your master's, and then they might tell you you're overqualified. So now you're in a job and you're still trying to pay all of these bills and make all of these things work. But now they want to tell you we live in this globalized international context, which is true. We do. Everybody depends on everybody. You can see it in, let's take the coronavirus for example. Where were vaccines made first? Where were they put out first? How did this spread? And I'm not talking about origin. I mean people and travel, right? People are going different places for work. They're going back home. It's not, the world is so interconnected.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll take that. I agree with that. So if you're making all of these international claims, why are you not ensuring that the people who are buying your product and keeping your lights on, which would be students who are taking out loans, people who are paying their tuition out of pocket, who are not there on a scholarship, who are not a legacy student, who are not getting whatever little bit of help you might be giving or a lot of it, why are you still making sure that they're not getting your best exported product in your quote unquote store? right, in your ivory tower. It would technically be some sort of an international component. If you keep touting and waving white flags and saying, hey, we're inclusive, hey, we're international, and then you're not making sure that every single person at your institution, wherever your institution may be in the world, is making it possible and making it, more importantly, accessible and feasible to the
Yeah.
students who are buying your product, to the students at your university, then I think you're doing them a disservice. Granted, not everybody wants to go abroad. Perfectly fine and dandy. There's no judgment here. But if you do want to go abroad and you're a student of color, particularly an African American student, my goal is to say, guess what? You're not alone. When I wanted to go, people thought, you want to go where and do what? For why? How long? Who's going to pay for that? Do you know anybody over there? We don't know anybody over there. Why don't you go to the Caribbean? It's just next door. Why don't you go to Europe? That's where everybody goes. Because that's where everybody goes, right?
Mhm.
This is a field that's dominated by people who don't look like me. And it's reflected in many different numbers, right? So if you look at the top destinations that people go to, the numbers are there because, I mean, the people who are going are connecting with maybe their roots. Maybe they're doing like a heritage trip. You know, my great-great-grandfather is from, I don't know, Scotland. So I want to go check out Scotland. I want to see that culture. I want to embrace it. And that's great. But there are also students who say, I want to check out maybe the Caribbean, or I want to check out the continent, right? And so my goal is to say, one, you're not alone. Because I think a lot of times, more often than not, when we bring up these subjects matters, it's considered not a safe space because we don't know anyone who's done it, right? We don't know anyone who's explored that particular path before, and it can be really intimidating. You can want something as much as you want with all of your being, but if you're scared, I mean, paralyzed with fear is a real thing. And if you don't feel that you have the support or community or someone to ask or someone that will do their best to kind of guide you through, then maybe you'll be paralyzed with fear and you won't go. Or maybe it's the issue of finance. How do I pay for this? Or maybe it's the issue of, I don't have a passport. To get a passport, it's almost $200. That's my groceries for a week. Where can I budget this in? And so my goal is just to make these questions easier to answer by saying, I've got a community for you. Black and brown scholars, I have a community for you. I don't have all the answers, and I will never tell you that I do. But I can A, hit Google. It works. B, I can hit my network. Hey, does anybody have any advice about this? Can anybody give me an idea about this? And maybe none of the above. Maybe I would just say, hey, have you thought about contacting your study abroad office? Do you know where it is? I'm always surprised, and more recently than before, how many students don't know where the office is or who to talk to. And so I think just being able to say in a broad, painted with a broad brush, I'm here, I have some friends who might be able to help you. What do you need? How can we assist? Right? The goal is not to necessarily replace a university. Our goal is to work in collaboration and say, we can help. Our goal is to help.
So
And so, yeah.
tell me where your inspiration for this initiative came about. Because now you've told me like why you're studying and you know the whys behind it and giving everybody the fair shot, really, and
Mm-hmm.
you know the ability to go and explore and do and see the world and
Mm-hmm.
be educated in more ways than just the books, right? When you
Right.
go to another country and you study abroad, the education that you get is so vast and so like
In so many different ways.
you learn a new culture. You're in the middle of people that are just so different. Than I've been to Peru and did ministry there for a couple of weeks, and just that 2 weeks like changed my whole being. Right? It completely shifts your head. So, what was the inspiration for you to start this Hey Butterfly initiative?
Funny story. talk about learning to be flexible. So when I joined the program, I thought I wanted to focus on education of women in the global south. So outside of America, women, how can we make this process easier? What can we do? Start a school for refugees. That's where my head was. And then my very first class, very first semester, um, I talked to a professor about a paper that I wanted to write for their class. And the professor was like, oh, that's good. Yeah. Like cheering me on the whole time. And then at the end, I said, so do I have permission? Like, can I write this paper? And the professor was like, yeah, no. And I was like, wait a minute. You just cheered me on the whole time. And he said, well, I think that's all great, but I'm not sure that you have the time to answer the questions that you're trying to answer, which was true. And the professor said, you're in China right now, right? Yes. I'm quite curious to hear about your experience as an expat. Write about that. And I said, oh, Lord. First class, first semester, I'm going to fail out of the program, as dramatically as a Leo can be at times. And I just kind of really started spiraling like, oh no, I try. At least I try. I got further than I thought. And so eventually I took the advice I give my students, just write your name on the paper. You get some points for that, right? And then I was like, well, you can't just do that. And so I started reflecting on my process, my progress. What did I do? How did I get here? What challenges did I face? And then I have to make it scholarly. I started looking for references and materials I didn't know if they were going to support me, but just what did the research say? And the research did support what I was saying. And it also it opened my eyes to the lack of information, the abundance of information, and then just like this really weird middle ground. So what are we going to do? And so when I wrote the paper originally, I said, this is the problem. Someone needs to fix it. And I look forward to seeing them do that, and I was very gung-ho about it. And then as I started editing the paper, every time I would get to that part, I was like high-fiving myself. Yeah, girl, somebody gonna do something. Can you wait? Cash okay? And I just kept going and going. And I don't know where the boldness came from, but the final draft ended up saying, I wrote this paper and I made this charge to this mysterious someone. But somehow now it's become a personal challenge because I see the problem. I've lived the problem. I hope I can offer some insight. Let's see what I can do. And Hei Butterfly was born from that paper in October of 2018. And then, of course, I got overwhelmed and thought you could never. So I didn't think about it until maybe that following January. And so I get overwhelmed and scared of this whole, now it's a real organization. It's a LLC. It's a nonprofit in partnership with Amprakash Network. We had our first event 2 weeks ago, which was amazing. And I'm still humbled by its success. Passports and pastries. Thank you to everyone that came and supported. And you'll never know how much it just touched me to have that support. And yeah, so that's how it came about. Writing a paper and challenging someone, and then realizing that maybe I was talking to myself, maybe I wasn't. And then last year, taking the plunge.
So the someone was yourself.
Little did I know, but yes.
So
little did I know, but yes.
Now that you've started down the journey of, okay, I see the problem. All right, I'll answer the call. What has been your biggest challenge?
Cindy, you hit me with all the questions. I would say having folks respect the organization, respect me as a founder, director, respecting me as a scholar and a PhD student, and one day I will be Dr. Angelique Evans, and realizing that sometimes people they don't recognize the difference between the person you knew maybe as a little person, as a child, as a youth, as an undergrad, as a master's student, as an early doctoral student, compared to the older, more wiser, a bit more determined, a bit more organized in terms of what they're wishing to accomplish. And I think part of it could also be me wanting to hit this whole gambit and not realizing that, okay, this is great, but maybe right now you have to focus on this or focus on that, or take a more focused mindset. But yeah, I think honestly, it's been the lack of respect for me in certain contexts, and I think sometimes it can be I'm not sure, off-putting, maybe is the word I'm looking for. And it'll kind of make you feel like, okay, like maybe I shouldn't be doing this. So maybe it's not off-putting, but I can't think of the English word right now. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And so and learning to kind of talk to myself and say, don't let this deter you, because look at the people who support you, or look at the good feedback you've gotten, or look at your Gift the World grant recipients and how they're responding. Like, you're making a difference. It's all right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Look at the people that resonate with your message.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking from experience, and those people that are trying to tell you, you need to change the name, you need to change. This is my experience. Okay. Because beBOLDyou for a long time was not embraced. For probably 4 to 6 years. I had every coach that I had was like, oh, I know you're connected to that. I know you own it. And I know it's yours, but it's just not working. And I'm like, I'm not letting go, because it was given to me. It was landed in my lap, right? It was something that was, this is you. And so now if you look up beBOLDyou or Cyndilu, they're pretty much synonymous. And you like, literally, if you Google beBOLDyou all together with one word, my name will come up. Like, so it's like I've become, and I've really become that bold, beBOLDyou. And if I had let go of it, it wouldn't be what it is today.
Right.
And sometimes we're given a gift and an understanding of something ahead of people, to the point that they can't grasp it because it's such a forerunner thing. And I feel like you're that forerunner, and you're stepping into something that hasn't been done before, and you're opening up a new path. So I want to encourage you to stay on the path.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to say that since I've started embracing the path and embracing this journey, I have met some amazing Black scholars and founders of similar message type of organizations. So maybe it'll focus on high school students and language. Maybe it'll focus on fellowships and minority students. And so I'm not sure that I am the first, but I am definitely part of an amazing cohort of young Black folks who are making their voice heard in this field. And I don't want to, I don't want to say mislead, but that's the word that's in my head right now. I don't want to mislead anyone to think that I think I'm the only one or I haven't met, because I have. And I'm so humbled and inspired and motivated by them as well.
So tell me about the field and tell me what you're doing.
Okay, so the field broadly, it is education abroad. So that would include study abroad, intern abroad, working abroad experiences. What my goal is, big term, is to encourage, empower, and facilitate, and also really, really drive home the fact that you can do this for Black and Brown students. I think there's so many things that tell you you can't, why you can't. It's expensive. It's too far. We've never been there. I've never done that. Who's going to go with you? What's the security like? What do you have to wear? What if you do? There's so many what ifs. But the dopest one is, what if you go and you have the most amazing time and you meet the most amazing people and your life is forever changed, so much so that you can come back and hopefully join the Hey Butterfly Initiative Network and be a mentor or be an ambassador or inspire somebody else. And so my goal in no short form is just to say, I got you. Sometimes that's all you need. I need my friends shouting, hey, in the background. Sometimes somebody else just needs to hear, I've got you. I don't know you. I don't know your story. I hope you'll share it with me. I hope that we reach a safe space where you feel that you can do that. But for the time being, I've got you. I know it's not easy. I know there's so many things and reasons why not and could not and should not. But if you want to make it happen, I promise I will work with you to make it happen. And I don't have all the answers, but I'll do my best. And so there's so many options and places and spaces that one can go. The world is literally your oyster. And so that's the field. That's my goal. And yeah, I mean, we have services and things that we provide. Passports and Pastries was our first event. Hello,
Tell me about
Carissa. I
that.
see you.
Tell me about pastries and pastries.
Oh man, Passports and Pastries. It was an idea that I had, and initially, excuse me, it was gonna be like one day, maybe 3 hours. The universe, God, and all the ancestors came together and said, "This is what you want?" And I said, "Uh-huh." And they said, "All right, let's get to work." And I started networking. I started sharing. I started talking, and it ended up being a 2-day event. We had 70 plus folks come through at various times in support. We had 5 countries represented, whether they were performers or presenters or just coming to check out what was going on. We were able to grant 10 Gift the World grants, which cover all passport fees for a scholar of color. We had our first donation. We raised $2,000 to help us do that. Hello, Clarissa. I see you in the comments. She's actually one of our grant awardees. I am so very proud of her. And so, yeah, now we're just going to start working on getting our 10 scholars their passports and seeing where they want to go and how we can help and what we can do. And if you want to donate to our organization, we are a 501c nonprofit. You can go to our website, heybutterfly.org, or visit our link tree. And you can do that. Or just, drop a message somewhere and I will be in touch with you, or possibly one of our new interns. So, yeah.
Oh, if somebody wanted to intern with you, what are you looking for?
Oh man, social media. We're looking for marketing. We're looking for someone to help with a blog that we have coming up. Anything. It doesn't matter. If you're a student, if you're a scholar, and you would like to have right now it's not paid. We are very, very new. We haven't even hit a full year as an LLC and nonprofit. We're accepting whatever your skill set is. Contact us, and whatever we can do, we'll do our best to make it work. But yeah, so hopefully soon.
What's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Our Facebook page, our Instagram, or sending an email directly to info@heybutterfly.org.
Okay, so I'm going to type that in. Info at HEI
Butterfly.org. You are so welcome, Clarissa. Thank you so much for coming through. And I look forward to meeting you on this coming week as well.
Awesome. So was this event virtual or was it in person?
The entire event was virtual. So it was open to students in universities nationwide. Our grant awardees or grant recipients, we actually had 4 schools represented. Howard University in DC, Kaplan University in Florida, Escobar, which is a culinary art school. I don't know if I said it right. Please forgive me if I did not. In Texas, and of course, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. And I'm so very excited for all of them and what the future holds. I hope they'll stay in touch with the organization and with me as they process and progress through their journeys.
So are you doing some like abroad virtual events? Have you thought about doing them?
I have thought about it. But at the same time, I don't want to take on too much and then everything just collapse. So right now I'm focusing to build a strong foundation in one, getting our name out, two, perfecting passports and pastries. We're going to do it twice a year as an organization and open it up to the nation. So that would be National Study Abroad Week and International Education Week. We'll do 2 a year for the nation. And in the meantime and in between time, work with universities independently to make one for their school and their scholars.
What does that event look like?
We have brunch. So we have a Hei Butterfly brunch that we do monthly anyway. We have one coming up soon. And we talk with someone about their experience abroad, a person of color. We talk about their experience abroad, whether that was working or studying or traveling. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be talking to some couples who have met overseas and have recently started families or been married. So kind of like the whole gambit. And then we just have workshops. So workshops sharing first steps, workshops with people talking about their interning. So yeah, we talked about mental health and self-care because I am a huge advocate for taking time for you. And I wanted to make sure that this organization embodies those same things. And so our Facebook page, every weekend, we talk about unplugging and indulging in self-care. We talked about National Unplug Day yesterday. So we made our post and then we went offline. We told everybody that associates with us, hey, you don't need to check anything. Take your time, make your time for you and your family. Yeah. And then we give out grants. We have performers, and we have vendors. So yeah, folks can come and have like a shop and sell things. And I think it was a good time. I had a good time.
Nice. Are you using a platform to do that, or are you using?
Yes, we did StreamYard and we did we worked with another organization.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
Exciting.
So if anyone wants to learn more about that, again, our email is in the chat. We would be happy to talk to you about it, give you more information, possibly set one up for your university or your school, your community. However we can help, that's what we're here for.
Nice. What would you tell somebody who is a student right now and they're like, ooh, this sounds very interesting. I could use a passport. I would love to travel once the doors open. Now's the time to get passports, right? Get them now while we are
all literally waiting,
right?
Get it now.
So get it now, or at least get it in order. Get the things put together.
Yeah,
because
if
it takes a bit.
It
takes
does.
A bit to put the.
I think right now it's 3 months, possibly more, depending on your state. So be patient, but also start now. And if you want to talk about it, again, our email is here in the chat, info@heibutterfly.org. I will do my best to field and respond to you personally. But if I can't, that's why we have friends and a team.
That's why you have a team.
That's why we have a team. But yeah, if you are interested in getting a passport or want to learn more, please reach out. We will do our best. We are going to start our next round of fundraising for more Gift the World grants, probably week after next. And it will just be a rolling donation setup that we have going on. But yeah, if you want a passport, it's a bit of work. But again, send us a message, contact me, come and talk to me.
Are there any limitations? Are there anything that anybody needs to know, or is the age doesn't matter? Do they have to be already enrolled in school? Just like the little details that they might need to know.
For the grant specifically?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So our grant right now is available to scholars who are enrolled at a U.S. accredited institution as your home institution. Um, you have to be a minority student, so you have to be African American or Latino. Does that mean that we won't help other people? It does not, but it means that our focus are on this particular group. You have to come to a passport workshop, and there are other things that we will send out the specifics for if you're interested. But yeah, that's it. It's not a scholarship because we're not looking at your GPA. We're not looking at your income or your merit. Our goal is to work with universities and give these grants so that it also does not impact your financial aid at your institution. So yeah, basically the only thing you have to
because
be is enrolled
that
in
would be
school and a minority student.
because that would be rather like counterproductive, right? If you're like giving them 200 and they're now taking 200 away because you got that from them.
Right, right.
Because some
And that
schools
could
may have
be the
that.
case.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
awesome.
Really quickly, thank you, Andrea and Stephen, Charles. I see you guys in the chat. I just want to say hi.
We see you. We thank you
Very much.
Are there any last words that you would like to say? I've so enjoyed having you here today. I love what you're doing. I love that you're helping people to not only see that there's a bigger world, but actually get to that bigger world.
Thank you. Oh man, last few things. First, thank you for the invitation. This has been fun. And again, the whole international aspect of this, you being in New Zealand right now, I can't wait to feet touch the ground in New Zealand. It's been on my list for a long time. So really, I appreciate you making the space and the time to speak with me and let me engage on your platform. To scholars, wherever it is that you may be, one day Hey Butterfly will be international, global, worldwide, and we'll be focusing to get students of color from their home country to someplace abroad. Please don't be off put and think, oh, I'm on the continent, or I'm in Australia, or I'm in France. If you need the help, contact me. We're working to collaborate with partners in other countries, so maybe we can set you up with those partners. So please just take a chance, take a little risk, be bold, be you. Contact us, and we'll do our best to help you as we can.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And like you said, other people are doing this, and you've found that. You've discovered that along the way. And you can help to connect people with other organizations that are closer to where they live, or that may already be working with the demographic. If it's not the exact same demographic, I'm thinking if there's somebody that, is not of those particular African-American or Latino at this moment, that they could still contact you and say, hey, what do I look up on Google to even find it? Because you're going to know. You've already done the research. You know exactly, what they need to kind of search for in their area.
I can do my best to point you in the right direction.
Yeah, that's right. She's going to give it her all. And if she can't figure it out, she'll probably find somebody else that'll help her to do that.
Exactly. I will find somebody else.
We can go on Clubhouse and do a room that says, hey,
Cyndilu, do not threaten me with the good time. We're going to do a room. I vote now.
Totally going to do a room.
We should do a room. It would be great.
We're going to do a Clubhouse room. We're absolutely going to do a room because it would be a blast. So if you're not on Clubhouse yet and you need an invite, send me a message.
Or send me a message. Facebook. I think I have like 6 invites. I have not been doing my best on Clubhouse.
I keep giving them away and they keep giving me more. So
that's why you keep getting more, because you out here giving them to folks. That's good.
And I'm giving to people that are coming on and doing something with it. Like they're getting on there.
Excellent.
Which is great. I check to make sure like it's a right fit. And I think you probably do that also with what you're doing. Like we check to make sure this is a good fit.
Right.
Giving somebody something that they're not going to be able to use, helpful. Or that doesn't, serve them with where they're going, it's not helpful. So
exactly.
That's like that thing that great grandma gave you and you got to put on the shelf and it's got to sit there no matter what. We don't need those kind of gifts in our lives. So
all right.
Thanks again.
I want to
remember or tell my listeners, I end the show the same way every time. Remember to live your life out loud and be bold you. You've got this. Yeah.